What have I done with my cup?
Oh, what?
Reach down. There we go. I'm ready to start now. Welcome back to the 128 Gaming Podcast. We are back once again.
Oh, yes.
Due to lack of popular demand.
With AJ.
Yes, that's me.
And Leon.
Oh my God, Leon.
Leon, help. No, it's Andy. But you all knew that anyway.
Did we?
Probably didn't.
Because Leon's not real. There's that as well.
He might be. He might actually be a rookie cop somewhere.
Raccoon.
Yeah.
It's unlikely. This is your weekly dose of all things gaming with Leon and AJ.
Shout out.
Welcome back. We've got a great show lined up.
We do, yes.
We are here to talk about something that's right up your alley and has excited us and made us feel justified in our rants previously.
Yes, because we've gone hard.
We've gone hard on PlayStation in the past.
We have.
And it hurts me because I'm a massive PlayStation fan. But we are hearing rumours, the first rumblings, the tremors.
Yes.
Not those worms that live under the ground,
No.
but the shaking of the ground.
Yes.
Of a PlayStation Portable
Yes.
2.
Yes.
Because obviously
A PSPP, as I'm calling it.
The PlayStation PP.
The PlayStation Portable.
PlayStation get their PP out.
Yes.
So this is exciting. We're not talking about the Portal or another version of the Portal. The Portal is this meek, weak, rubbish version of what a handheld gaming should be. It's a streaming device.
It's a controller,
It's a controller. It's a backbone controller with a screen.
Yeah.
No, an actual fully fledged handheld PlayStation console. Oh my days!
Can you
I'm
imagine
excited.
that?
Yes, I can.
Because
we had to.
But the Vita, though, like that was so good. I know we've said about this so many times, like throughout the episodes, but the Vita was pinnacle. PSP. The original PSP was fantastic. It had its flaws. Yeah, for its time, 2004, whenever it was.
Was it the PSP that used UMDs?
Yes.
They were awful.
They were terrible. Why would you have a spinning disc in a handheld?
That's Sony making proprietary media like they do.
Terrible. But it was cool. It was a great concept.
Very cool.
Terrible battery life because it was spinning around like stuff.
Yeah.
But awesome. I loved the PSP. I actually imported one from Japan before the Western release.
Yes.
And then obviously the Vita came with an OLED screen, with the original.
It's what I think it's the most underrated console.
Yeah, I think
the Vita.
I think it really is. Yeah,
it's so ahead of its time.
Yeah.
So ahead of its time.
It's so good. Still amazing to this day.
The screen still looks good. OLED screen. Perfect. It had a touch bar on the back, didn't it?
Yes, it did. Yeah.
Some really cool features.
Yes, there's some really cool games that utilize like all of that.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure one called Tearaway used like all the features. Like so it had like gyro, it had a touch screen.
Yes.
It had a touch backplate thing as well. Yeah. You had your joysticks on there and all that good stuff. Like it was such a good thing. Like I still play mine. Yeah. To this day. Amazing. There's some downsides to it, like the what's it called? The proprietary memory cards that Sony loved to do.
Oh, God, yeah.
Like, it was very expensive at the time. Like when it launched, it was overly expensive. I had to remortgage myself at uni. I had to sell my body to buy one at the time. But I loved it.
Did you sell a guitar for it?
No, but
close
to, yeah. But yeah, so that was fantastic. And then they just went, nah. And just gave up on it out of nowhere.
There's still no concrete reason as to why they abandoned handheld entirely.
No, I think it's just because Nintendo did a Nintendo and just fully outdid them. Nintendo released at the same time, right? The Vita came out when the 3DS came out.
I was going to say it's 3DS.
And the 3DS was actually, and I'm saying 3, as everyone loves to say on YouTube, is it free? Because apparently I don't pronounce my TNH.
Okay.
Yeah.
Remember Nintendo 3DS, because that's where you're on your train of thought.
Yeah.
Can I just say, talking of YouTube comments?
Yes, go on.
Can I just say one word to you? You know what's going to be, don't you?
What was it?
Stampy.
Why? I don't even sound like the guy. It's just because I'm enthusiastic, I suppose.
It's so good.
But what I like now...
Is this Stampy?
I like now that people start backing me up and going, no.
Yeah. They've got regular viewers come back. Just No.
Just no. But I listened to the guy because I thought maybe, he must be British, English as well. And I thought maybe it's just because it's Americans thinking that we all sound the same.
It's that,
and I listened to the guys. I don't sound anything like him.
No, you don't. No. But I can understand why an American would get confused.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, possibly.
You're enthusiastic. You're speaking with some kind of British accent.
Yes.
And you're talking about gaming.
Yeah, I suppose. Same sort of thing.
It's kind of like, if you're going to get a broad brush,
yes,
you're kind of there.
There we go. So, no, I'm Leon, remember?
You're not Stampy.
I'm not Stampy. I'm not Andy. I'm Leon, help! But anyway, and if everyone's wondering where the Resident Evil 4 quotes are coming from, it's AJ thinks I look like Leon Kennedy.
I think this jacket is straight out of Resident Evil.
But anyway, going back on topic, the 3 DS from Nintendo dropped in 2011, as did the PlayStation Vita, and the 3DS was actually overpriced and it flopped. Yeah, and I was one of the idiots that queued up at midnight and bought one at full price. At full price, and then I think it was about a month later, maybe 2 months later, and Nintendo went, no one's buying it, so they dropped the price by like £100. Like they slammed it, and it wasn't even a sale. It was just, no, we're going to retail this a lot lower now to sell them, and so Nintendo, everyone started buying them then. And to say sorry, Nintendo, to all the early adopters, released the Ambassador program, gave you access to like Game Boy games and stuff that were only exclusive to your account if you'd purchased an original one. Wow. And it bound to your account. It was amazing. But so Nintendo had just dropped the price like drastically for the 3DS, and the Vita was already way more expensive as well. Plus you had all that proprietary cost of everything. Like it had its own, before the PS Vita like Mark II, I can't remember what it's called, the 2000 model or something. Yep. That had a USB and stuff like that. But the first Vita didn't. It was all proprietary, their own connections, their own chargers, their own media. Everything had to be Sony, and so it was so expensive. It was so expensive. And so the sales were just not there. And I think as well, people obviously have to develop games purely for the Vita. Yeah. No one was buying the Vita. So why are they going to make some games for it? They were focusing on PS3. Yes. So it then, I can't remember if it launched with it or it was patched in later, but you could then remote play to your Vita from the PS3. Yep. And later the 4 as well. So I think it just sadly died because it was too expensive. Game devs, I suppose, just didn't want to make games for it, and Sony just gave up. It
got caught in that really awkward time of technology development and game development in particular, where we were in between like medias and mediums, and now consoles are just essentially PCs, and it's all kind of conversion to the same way. So making a game cross-compatible is a lot easier than it was.
Oh, now,
Back then, if you wanted a game to be on the PS Vita or the PSP, you had to develop it for it.
Ground up. Like,
so all the games we were seeing on there, you would have the same titles. Yes. But they would be a completely different game.
And going back even further to prove that, it was when you'd get like a game on the Game Boy versus like the whatever.
Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, they're all so different. So different. And I remember specifically being a kid and like the Harry Potter games. Yeah. Like they were vastly different, like massively different on every single system. It was like totally different. Whereas now, obviously, like you've correctly said, everything's just a PC. So you're seeing the same thing on a Switch as you are, like Hogwarts Legacy, just because we're talking about Harry Potter, it's the same on Switch.
Same game.
Yeah, it's the exact same game. Even though it looks like a potato, it is the same game. It doesn't
look like a potato.
Yeah, But so I think the PS Vita died because of those reasons. The 3DS as well started climbing in success because it's Nintendo. And it's sad, really.
It's just odd that at that point, they went, no more handheld. I understand that it wasn't successful, but you would have thought when the PS3 to PS4 era came about, they would go, okay, this is our Vita 2. Whatever they wanted to call it.
I reckon they probably had that in mind. Yeah. I reckon. But well, look at the random crap they're releasing now. Do you know what I mean?
I know.
Like they're releasing hardware all over the place.
Like all hardware.
Like all hardware. You've got like all these crazy expensive headphones, controllers, the Portal, you've got the VR. Like, do you know what I mean? There's all this stuff. I think when the PS4 came out, they probably did have a Vita 2 like concept. Yeah. Not saying they ever made it, but they probably had like someone go through the like what if stage, and then they just went, you know what, nah. And then they just didn't bother.
Clearly didn't. didn't bother because it didn't happen.
Well, yeah, and I suppose PS4. When did the PS4 launch?
I can tell you if you give me a second. It would have been 2013.
2013, wow. So that was probably when the Vita died, you know? I reckon they went, you know what, let's focus on the PS4 and let's just drop the old hat.
Don't quote me on that.
No.
I'm kind of just...
But yeah, I think
it's 2013.
Then. Yeah, no, it makes sense. It makes sense. And then obviously the 3DS was doing so well. And then they had the new 3DS and stuff like that from Nintendo, and then the Switch. Once the Switch hit, I think they went, okay, we're out of it now, boys, you know? And now we've seen the reverse, where the Switch has now gone to all the PC people like, you know, like, actually, this is totally viable, it's massive, and then you've got stuff like this from Valve, you know? Which
just drop that in there.
Just dropping
What's that, Andy?
It's a Steam Deck OLED.
Oh, is that your Steam Deck OLED?
Yes,
Oh, it's just here.
It's just casually there, because just a shameless plug.
Yes.
For those that you don't know, members get not only early access to up to like a week early access to these videos.
Yes.
Right. They can also now get exclusive members podcast episodes.
Members only podcast episodes only available for members. So join us for a more relaxed chat after this, where we talk about more things gaming.
Yes. And if you want to support us even more, we have beautiful merchandise.
They are available under the video in the product shelf. We've got cool mugs and stuff. So you can look like us, drink like us, and be like us.
But my jacket's not for sale, sorry.
Yet. Give me a minute and we'll have it. Okay, so they clearly abandoned it, and that's a sad thing. When we first heard the rumours of the Portal, what was it called? Project Q, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We were hearing it as Project Q.
Yep.
We got very excited.
We got so hyped.
So hyped. And you're starting to see these renders of it, or the leaked images. You're like, oh, it's real.
Yeah,
it's a DualSense controller with
a screen in the middle.
Some kind of 7 to 8 inch screen in the middle of it. This is going to be amazing.
Yep.
And I remember we even did a podcast episode. We listed off all the things we wanted it to be.
We went so in depth.
All the things we wanted it to be. And then we heard a rumour that it was going to be remote play only.
Yes.
And we were like, that would be a disaster.
Yeah.
Please don't do that.
Don't do that.
No, don't do that. Anyway, it played out that is what happened.
Yeah, I know.
As we now know.
Devastation.
But as quite often, what would be perfect for gamers, as in like the perfect devices or perfect games, and what sells are actually quite distant from each other, it seems.
Totally.
Because the PlayStation Portal sold out and is still sold out.
Yeah, that's mad, isn't it?
It's been a huge success for them.
Yes.
Even though, objectively, it's crap.
It really is.
It sucks, but yet it's sold really well. Yeah. So, I mean, who's wrong? PlayStation clean up wrong because their job's to sell things.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah,
and maybe there is millions of people that just want a remote play.
Yeah.
I think it's more like there's millions of people that want the new PlayStation thing.
Yes.
And they'll probably buy anything that they make.
Yes.
A bit like with Apple. I'll probably buy anything you make.
Yeah.
And there's an amount of them that are going to take advantage of remote play, maybe not worried about as much of performance and stuff. The bottom line is they missed a gigantic open goal with making a proper handheld gaming performance machine.
I think they were testing the waters in a way,
quite likely,
because if they'd have really spent all that money, like research and development and everything, to make a fully fledged system, and it failed again like the last one did, they probably would have gone. So they're like, you know what? We'll just take a controller that we've already got, put a screen and a battery on it, and basically do nothing, and sell it for 200 quid. And see who buys it. And it's been sold out ever since, like you said. This has probably made them go, okay.
And it's as simple as it's an Android device, which is what it is.
Yeah.
That's basically got the remote app built in as its UI.
Yeah.
Unbelievably simple. And it's done so well. It really surprises me because the performance of it sucks as well.
Yeah.
Even in its core function, it's not very good.
It's not even got Wi-Fi 6E. And Wi-Fi 7's out now.
It doesn't have Bluetooth.
No, it doesn't have Bluetooth. No.
What the hell? Anyway, there was a whole list of things that we wanted this to be, and it wasn't. But now we're hearing the rumours that they are planning in the early stages of development for the things that we wanted.
Basically, yeah.
So I reckon we should be phoning up Sony and going, 5%?
Yes.
10%.
I think they actually watched our
that's what I mean.
episodes.
It was our idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how about we get our percentage?
Yes, that's it.
I think it seems
Come
fair.
on, Sony. Just play ball.
So what are the things you want it to be? And I'm going to tell them what the things we're hearing.
Oh man,
what's like a must-have shopping list for the PlayStation
must-have
Portable?
shopping list? It's so difficult, isn't it? Because if we're just looking at time frame first, it's going to be like at least a few years out.
Okay, so that you're absolutely right to highlight that bit first, because the timeline does matter.
It does matter, yeah.
Because if it was right now,
yes,
your list of demands would be like, oh, it should play PS4 games.
Yes, absolutely.
But it's not going to be.
No.
If I tell you they're aiming for this to be the PS6 era,
yes,
that changes it, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it? Because we're still on PS5 base model.
Yep.
You know, well, we're not. We're on PS5 Slim, not as good model, and then
more expensive model.
Yeah, the one that they can just turn off the disc drive for model.
Yeah, we'll just turn off your disc games whenever we want.
Yeah. So we're on PS5. We're likely to see a PS5 Pro.
Yes.
And then we're likely to see PS6.
Yes.
And then we're probably likely after that to then see whatever this handheld is. I can't imagine them launching at the same time.
We know that there's typically a 7-year lifespan to most consoles.
Yes.
That's what kind of we've seen historically, especially with PlayStation.
Yeah.
We're in year 4.
Yeah.
So it was a 2020 release.
Yeah.
So we're in year 4.
Yeah.
So we're looking at a 2027.
3 more years, basically. Yeah.
3 years from now.
Yes. Yeah, okay. So for 3 years from now, cool. I, first of all, think they need to, because you've also got to think there's all of these out now, all the PC handhelds, right?
The ROG Ally.
Oh, you've got loads of them. You've got the ROG Ally,
Steam Deck,
Lenovo Legion Go.
I was going to say that one.
The MSI Claw, the Claw Grip.
Yeah.
You're going to have the Switch 2.
Switch 2 will definitely be there by then.
Absolutely. And then all the other ones that will probably appear in the next 3 years.
Yeah.
In the next 3 years, I imagine we'll see a Steam Deck 2.
We will.
Yeah. So I reckon 2 to 3 years and we'll see Steam Deck 2.
Yep.
And that's going to be like good, you know, like because the success
and
of
good
this,
value as well.
And good
Steam
value.
Deck is.
Yes. And
depending on how successful the ROG Ally maintains.
Yeah.
Because that one has actually surprised me how well it's done. I thought it was going to flop.
Yeah, I know. I thought it'd do all right, but I think it's doing better than anticipated. And I think it's probably one of the better Windows machines. You know, if I was going to look at like a Lenovo Legion Go and all that stuff, I'd probably go for an Asus. Yeah, you know, I do think that's a better one, but I'm sticking with Valve personally. But
I'm with you on that. Yeah,
those are the ones that are going to be available. So it needs to compete, first of all.
Yeah.
You know? So it's got to have some power behind it. So we've got to be able to play PS5 games on it.
So that's the point then, is it? In which marketplace is it competing? I say that because we know from everything we're hearing about the Switch 2, or whatever that will be called, that it's going to be in that, again, a slightly less powerful marketplace that Nintendo sit in.
Yes.
It will play games to a kind of PS4.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a misnomer, but that kind of quality.
It's supposedly going to be like PS4.
That's just an easy way to kind of put it in a bubble.
Yeah.
Does the PlayStation Portable compete with that? Or does it have to stand above that and compete with whatever Lenovo or Asus or Valve do? I
think it sits somewhere in the middle, personally. I think
is that a problem then?
No,
because it's not in its own. It's in its own marketplace.
I don't necessarily think so. They're not going to be going up against Nintendo because Nintendo's never up against anyone.
Like, Nintendo is there for its own IPs.
Exactly that. So you know, you're buying a Switch to play Mario and blah blah blah. You're buying a PlayStation portable, you know, to play Spider-Man and you know, God of War and all that stuff. That's literally what I loved playing on the original like PSP and stuff, was God of War and stuff like that.
So it really is a minimum. It has to be able to play PS5 games. Yeah. If it's been released when PS6 is coming out.
Exactly. And you've got to remember there's so many PlayStation games already on Steam.
Yes.
I've got like Spider-Man, God of War, Days Gone, all that kind of stuff on my Steam Deck. Ratchet and Clank. All of this I have right now.
Spider-Man will be there by then, I reckon.
Yeah. Well, Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 1 already is.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. So I've got access to that currently right here. Yeah. You know, I've got a 2.5 terabyte.
Yeah. And you have to remember as well, in this marketplace, Xbox Game Pass exists on these machines.
Yes. Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah. So they've got to make it compete, because again, if you're going to launch like Spider-Man and stuff on a PlayStation Portable again, well then all these other systems can play it too.
Yeah.
The thing that they've got behind them, which all these PC ones don't, is that it's PlayStation.
It's got the brand.
It's got the brand, and like the minority is PC gamers.
Yeah.
And the even more minority of that, the real niche, is these handheld PC systems.
Yes.
Whereas like Nintendo, the exact opposite.
Yes.
Side, you've got mass appeal,
the largest number.
Everyone knows what it is. So if PlayStation make a handheld, and you don't need to worry about any of this rubbish setting it up and changing stuff, it's just going to work, isn't it?
Yeah.
And mums and dads are going to know, PlayStation thing, I don't need to mess around with these computers. I just buy that, little Billy can play it. Bam, done. All over the TV, all over your billboards, all over your buses at Christmas. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they've got the clout. So I think it's not going to be as good as and I'm saying good, but in terms of raw power, but I don't think it's going to be as powerful as the PC equivalents of the time.
Yeah.
When that launches, I fully expect like Steam Deck 2 to be more powerful.
I fully agree with you, and I fully agree that, again, my list of demands would be, by the time that releases 2027, let's say,
yeah,
it should be able to play PS5 games, because it's the end of the PS5 era. It should be able to. So let me read to you the rumours or the leaks that are happening.
Okay.
And let's see. So the new report states that Sony is actively working with AMD.
Yeah. Pretty much currently as well. Just to pause you on that.
Yeah.
Pretty much every handheld PC
it's all
right
AMD,
now,
isn't it?
Everything's AMD. It's only that Claw that's using an Intel. So MSI have gone with an Intel-based CPU.
So are they using AMD the laptop Ryzen chips? The Ryzen.
They're using that Z1 Extreme. It's like a.
Is it?
The Lenovo Legion Go and the Asus ROG Ally are using the Z1 Extreme, which is like a purpose-built handheld APU.
That makes sense. Okay, so this new handheld will be in the same line as something like Steam Deck.
Yeah.
The handheld will be capable...
What?
The handheld will be capable of playing some PS5 games and PS4 games.
Yeah, okay.
So be capable of playing PS4 games.
Yeah.
And some PS5 titles.
Yes.
The handheld is meant for the PS6 family of products.
Yes.
So it's a few years out.
Yeah.
And of course, because it's an active development, everything can change.
Everything can change. It could never happen.
Yeah, it's very possible it'll never happen. I just worry when they talk about it playing PS4 games that by the time it comes out for the type of players that may be irrelevant.
Maybe, but I mean, they're making freaking PS4 games to this day.
It depends what they categorise as PS4 games, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, we just had the State of Play, which we covered last week, and there's all these new games that are still popping up saying PS4.
100%,
so
yeah,
all right, sweet. I'll play the PS4 version on the go.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that. Do you know what I mean? And I wouldn't have an issue with it personally if it was all. There's so many PS4 games I've personally never played, and if it is as such that you just log in with your PlayStation account,
yes,
and let's say you're already digital only, so your current account's got all these PS4 games. Then happy days. Do you know what I mean? You could just sign in and start playing.
It would be cool I don't know if it's going to stream the games from a server or if it's going to install them locally. I'd imagine it's installing them locally.
It's going to be installed
if they're worrying
locally.
about the processing.
Yeah. It's native.
It would be cool if no matter if you had the digital version on your PlayStation account. That you could install that. You can install a mirrored version onto your PlayStation Portable.
Yes. Yeah.
So let's say you've gone and bought Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Not that I'm obsessed, but I don't talk about it that much. But you got the disc version.
Yeah.
Now I've got my PlayStation Portable. I want to pick up from where I left off, but portably.
Yeah, not if you got the disc version.
Do you think they're going to lock it off?
Yeah, there already is, isn't it? Otherwise, I could just give you my copy of the disc.
I tell you, there's a slight little workaround.
Yeah.
That I've noticed, and I only noticed this yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've been sleeping under a rock or something.
Okay.
So, Final Fantasy VII Remake, which I'm streaming over on the other 128KB channel, ready for Rebirth to launch. I bought the PS4 disc version.
Yes.
When it launched.
Yes, same.
When I got my PS5, I obviously did the upgrade.
Yep.
So you download the PS5 version. I went to make sure it was all up to date, and I opened it, but didn't put the disc in. I still had Crisis Core on the PlayStation, and it opened without the disc.
Did it let you play it?
And I'm playing it without the disc.
Wow! It's now.
So to recap, I bought the PS4 disc version.
Yes.
And normally, in order to play any game after you've downloaded it, you have to have the disc inside.
Yes.
And if you don't, it will pop up saying insert disc.
Yeah.
I've downloaded the PS5 version, which was a free upgrade.
Yeah.
And I can play that without the disc, which makes me think that they have made a mechanism available to do this.
Well,
or they've opened the door slightly, like, all right, we'll let you away.
Well, there's some games, and this is been a thing for a little while now, that require like a DRM check thing once a month or whatever. So you might find the more you're playing, you're just going to get a screen that goes
insert disc.
So instead of it requiring every boot, it's every few weeks or a month or whatever,
Yeah. So to make sure you've not sold it on,
exactly that. So that is currently a thing.
Yeah.
I don't know how you know which it's going to be, like whether it requires it all the time or not, but there is certain games that will only check now and again.
In a minute, it probably won't matter anyway, because there'll be no second-hand market as well.
Yes.
It's another episode of the podcast coming up.
Yeah.
But there'll be no pre-owned market anymore anyway soon.
Pretty much, at least in the UK.
The UK, it's almost
already dead. Yeah.
But anyway, I guess that makes sense. That's how they protect you from me giving you the disc as well, and you just playing it as well. Both playing it.
Yeah.
But I thought it was interesting that it was like, it's the first time I'd opened the PS5 version ever.
Yeah.
I was like, no discs needed. This is interesting.
Weird. Well, that's strange though, because I would have thought
the first time I would have thought it.
Yeah. I would have thought it would have required to check immediately before it then, says, you're good for a month.
The only thing I can think that got around it is that I had bought the DLC for PS5.
Yeah, maybe.
The £10.
Yeah, possibly.
They call it Intrigade.
Yeah. You've also got some weird little chip hanging out the back of your PlayStation 5, haven't you? And I've seen these clear discs laying on your table, with pen writing on them.
No, that doesn't happen. That's just the Xbox I've got. The original Xbox. There's obviously got
someone tampered with that.
Yeah. I got it from some market or something.
Yeah.
Secondhand. It's got these wire. Well, I showed it on a podcast episode. It's got these wires hanging out the front.
Bought it on Craigslist, and the dude turned up with tinted windows, and
I've got 1,000 games pre-installed. What do you mean pre-installed? Yeah.
But so I don't know. I think if you've got the physical disc, you're screwed, and that's the way it's going to go now. Yeah. And that's kind of why I almost
more incentive to go digital.
Yeah, and that's the thing I found with the Steam Deck.
Yes.
That's when I bought the Steam Deck and when it came out, logged into my account. Oh look, I've got 20 years of games on there.
Okay, and that's the really interesting thing, because everyone talks about it's fine until they switch your games off. How many games have been switched off from the Valve library?
What?
Okay, in your experience, how many games that you have been switched off?
A few.
Yeah.
But you know what it is as well?
Incompatible hardware?
No. If they turn off the game and they're not allowed to sell it anymore, if you already own the game, if you've purchased it, they must let you still require to download it. So
you maintain access?
Yes, absolutely. You can't buy it again because of licensing or whatever, but if you own your copy, like your key to play it, then they must still give you access. So I've got, for example, Fable 3, I think it is, or Fable 2, it's one or the other. I think it's 3. That's been off the store for years, but I can go onto my Steam Deck and download it and play it.
So how many games that you've bought that the access has been turned off to, that you cannot play?
Out of my whole Steam library, I think 2, maybe 3, and some of them are GTA games, the original GTAs, the top-down GTA games. They were taken off Steam years ago.
And you can't access them.
I know, but I can access them.
That's what I mean. It's like,
sorry, which ones have... none.
I'll ask you the question again. Out of your massive Steam library...
like in an exam that I'm not reading the question.
And I'm the examiner that wants you to get it right.
No, you're not listening.
Yeah. Of your Steam library of games, of your digital-only Steam library, how many of those games that you've bought do you no longer have access to yourself that's been switched off?
Now I understand the question. Yeah. Thank you for the accessibility question there.
I might have reposted it for shorts.
None.
Yeah, zero.
I have access to all of them.
Yeah. So they can turn off access for other people to buy them.
Yes.
But the worry everyone has is that they're going to switch access to my game off and I won't be able to play that game that I've bought again.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen on the Steam library, and that's been around for 20 odd years now.
Yeah.
Must be 20 years.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit shorter.
Yeah, well, Steam I think was 2004, 2005. So 20 years.
20 years. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it doesn't happen.
No. Not really. Well, at least not on the PC side,
And they're surely, if we're going to look to the future for consoles, the PC is the future, how they deal with gaming.
Yeah.
Because it's not been physical for a long time.
Yes. And
can you still buy physical PC games anywhere?
No.
Does it still exist anywhere?
No.
Not even like a weird little corner.
There might be some little random game that someone's made locally and they're selling it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But no, everything's digital on PC now. And you've got the whole thing with I should have looked up more of this, but you've got like DRM stuff. So the whole point of I can't remember which way around it is. So just correct me in the comments. But so I think is it DRM everyone hates or is it non-DRM? I can't remember. It's one or the other. Basically, one lets you actually keep an installer. So you can download, GOG, good old games, I think it is. They let you, if you buy a game and you install it, you can keep the installer. So you basically have the installer. I could then back that up onto a USB or on my hard drive and install the game without any updates needed. Yeah. So you've then forever got access, providing you don't lose it or delete it or whatever, you've got access to that game forever, as opposed to downloading it off of a server.
Yes.
So you download it once, it's yours. Yeah. Now it's up to you to look after it.
Don't lose this computer.
Yes. Whereas others will do license checks, like you were saying, and also do download from our server only. So if they turned it off, then you would no longer have it. And I always get mixed up which one it is. It's something to do with DRM. Everyone that knows more, just go in the comments.
Just correct him. You do a good job correcting us anyway.
That's the thing with Steam is once they've turned it off, it's still there, providing that you bought it,
Yeah.
But people like GOG as a launcher, they just let you download. I think it's DRM free is when you can have the installer, so you can download it yourself. It's really
digital
cool.
rights management.
Yes.
Yes. So almost inevitably, the PlayStation Handheld will have problems with this that make it feel like it's restrictive in some way.
What they'll probably do is lock it to the PlayStation Plus thing.
Yeah.
So you can only download games that are available right there and, on the subscription.
Be interesting. But by then, maybe they have a subscription service that's in line with what Game Pass is.
Maybe, yeah.
It would seem odd that they don't catch up.
Yeah.
Especially by then, by the PS6.
Yeah, a few years' time. They must do, surely.
It would be phenomenal to see it.
Oh, I would
truly hope they do.
Yeah, me too. And as much as I'm happy right now with my Switch One, Switch OLED and my Steam Deck OLED, there's always room for more. I'd love a PlayStation.
Okay, let me ask you one other thing about the hardware then.
Yeah.
We had this conversation with the Switch 2.
Yeah.
Would you take a better priced model with an LCD screen, or happy to pay more and it have an OLED?
It's hard. Personally, I'd pay more for an OLED.
Okay, it's £400.
That's fine. I'd expect them to sell it at that anyway.
£500?
I don't know, because
see, we've broken a barrier.
Yeah, it really depends on what it's capable of doing.
Yeah,
to make it worthwhile. If it's really limited rubbish hardware and whatever, then no. And here's the difficult thing for them.
the PS5 is what, 480, is it?
Yeah, 480, yeah.
It can't be more than that.
No. But there's talks of the Switch 2 being like 400 quid.
Yes, yeah, which seems like a fair price.
I think it's going to be a fair price.
But the Switch 2 is a whole hybrid console
it's its
in
whole
of itself.
push, yeah, it's its main
and
system.
It's your only access to Nintendo games.
Exactly, yeah.
A PlayStation Portable at £500?
That's steep, isn't it? Yeah.
Difficult. But then if the Portal's 200...
It's going to be 400, isn't it?
It's got to be 400.
They're going to double it.
You're going to have an AMD processor in there. It's going to have a proper internet. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, they're going to have to make it work, and make sure the games work on it,
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So it will have to have some of the similar architecture to the PlayStation itself.
Yes, yeah.
So it's not a huge burden on developers.
It'll be like a lesser powered PS5, won't it? They'll probably just take PS5 over stock that they have. Do you know what I mean? And then mash it into some sort of...
Just get the scissors out.
Yeah, just get the
Don't
hammer.
need that bit. What's that? Cooling. Don't need that.
Yeah, but if it's anything like the PS5, it's going to be huge. It's on 15-inch handheld. They've just taken laptop
white spikes for no reason. What are those bits for? It looks cool.
Yeah, it looks great. Yes.
Yeah. I brought my PS5 here so I could start streaming stuff.
Yes.
I really underestimated how big it was.
Yeah, it takes up half the room.
It's ridiculous. It's like having a server rack.
It's massive, isn't it?
What is this?
Yeah, you like trip over it walking in the room.
I'll just put it on the desk in front of the TV. It's like, it won't fit there.
No, it's massive.
So I've got this little side table and I've had to trail this HDMI cable
all the way around. Yeah.
No. Make it smaller, guys. It's slim is not small either.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's really weird.
I guess that's my real concern is... They're not very good with aesthetics at the moment.
No, not at the minute, are they?
They're well off piste.
No, but even like the PS Vita, I liked that. I think it looks cool, and even though it's not the most comfortable thing in the world to hold, it's still decent enough.
What I thought was funny was that the renders that have been leaked, and obviously they're made up, the renders at this point.
Yeah.
It was basically a Vita.
Yeah, just stretched.
Just stretched out.
Yeah,
that looks a lot like what they used to do.
Much,
and I don't think they're going for that black and silver aesthetic anymore.
No, it's
gone.
Yeah, we're past that now.
Yeah. I hope they go back to the Doom Grey.
Yes.
Imagine that, genuinely, as a handheld. Like the PS1 aesthetic.
It's like really Nintendo though now, isn't it?
It is, and that's why I like it.
Yeah, but Nintendo's got that kind of like off grey, like white, off like slightly creamy,
and
white,
with that vibrant PlayStation logo.
Yes,
they've done away with that as well. Haven't they?
It's sad, isn't it?
I like the rainbow logo.
Yeah, I love the colorway of the weird like off grey stuff.
Yeah,
now it's not like it anymore. It's weird.
Well, imagine they go back to that for the. This is proper fantasy land. It's not going to happen, but they go back to that for the handheld.
Yeah, that would be cool.
It would be really cool.
It would be really nice, yeah. They should offer some different colours as well, because all the handhelds are just like bog standard one colour.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you get that, that's it. It's like, but great, cheers.
The DualSense controller, you can get in different colours. Yeah. I've got a really cool, vibrant red one.
Yes.
Really like that. Now, if the Portal came in that colour, you go, that has to be quite cool. There's no reason why not, surely.
Yeah, exactly. It's just silly why they didn't do that. Even with the Portal that's currently available.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Why have they not done?
Why haven't they just done different colours? Because surely it would sell more. Because people want to match their setups.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Anyway, if you're watching in YouTube land, let us know below what you would like to see from a PlayStation Portable, a proper handheld PlayStation console. And are you hyped by the idea as we are? Maybe you couldn't care less. I don't know. But let us know in the comments below. It would be really handy. Also, because there's channel memberships open on YouTube land, there are members-only shows available where you get to hang out with us a little more, drink some tea and, I don't know, talk about more things gaming.
Sometimes we talk about how I've got AJ's pants in my bag.
Often that comes up, actually. Often. Weirdly.
Yes.
Of course, podcast land people.
Yes.
Thank you for your company. And if you've got to the deep end and you're still sat in the toilet listening to us, now is the time.
You said the catchphrase because I always get it back.
I want Andy to say because he gets it wrong every week. Andy, what is it?
Wipe, wash, and rate. Yay! I had to think about that.
Oh, wrong one. They can't all be wrong.
Yeah, you're on the wrong page.
I'll rip your head off and shit down your neck.
No, there you go.
Yeah. Yes, it's time to wipe, wash, and rate the show. 5 stars is the only score you can give us. Yes. So until the next time, I'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.